Brown stride. But I tell you, every time I see it, I chill bumps. I just, it amazes me how this young man just threw his whole mind, body, soul, and spirit in everything he did. And it made me feel good that he didn't waste that trip coming to speak with us. He took everything we gave him and used it. We miss him in the natural. It hurts. When I saw the information Friday night, Mayor Roberts, I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep Friday night because I looked at him as a younger brother, although he played my father. He kept in touch with my son. Him and my son worked together on the film. And he would say, you know, Mom, this dude's cool. He's not here for all of that Hollywood stuff. He's here to be real and true to the character. He told my son, he says, you know, people gotta work, they gotta come here and make their money and take care of their families. He says, but this is your family's history. This is important to your family and your family's future. So we got to get this right. We got to put as much truth to this as we can. And he did. He did that. And he did it at an excellent level, because to me, he is the epitome of black excellence. How could he play those roles and be ill? It's a testament of his faith. It's a testament to how he was raised. He was given the right foundation. So being in Hollywood was no phase to him, because he knew whose he was. And it's no cliche that he was spiritual, because you saw that in his speeches when he spoke. You heard it. He talked profoundly. You saw the hand of God on this man's life. He exemplified the power of God moving in his life. We are here, aren't we? Because of Chadwick Boseman, because of what God placed in him and what he gave back to all of us. We are here. He stood boldly. Can you imagine the weight he carried? Playing the icons he had to play, learning and doing the research of the icons he did? Forget about the artistry and what you saw on the screen. He had to take in everything that he learned from the Robinson family, from Mrs. Robinson, from who told him about Marshall, and from us. And Black Panther, our first superhero, black superhero. The weight that he had to carry, knowing what he knew about these people. I didn't know Mr. Robinson. I did not know Mr. Marshall. But I knew James Brown. And I knew what he put in, what Chadwick Boseman put into that role. Was all of the blessing that God put in him. All of the talent and skill that he took the time to learn. the inspiration that he is to these young kids out here all over the world, of all colors, of all races, of all cultures. 8 years old and a young boy having a funeral for his superhero, Black Panther. That's going to go with him for the rest of his life. Chadwick Boseman will be with us for years and years and years to come, because he's going to live in these little children. There's a Chadwick Boseman out here right now. God bless his soul. God bless his life. God bless his wife and family, mother and father and family, and God bless his community, because this is love. This is love. This is respect. And you showing the young children just what to do when you have someone like Chadwick Boseman give his life and do what he did. Exemplify excellence. This is what we want our children to see. This is why we want to honor him. In Black Panther, there was a line from Michael B. Jordan. Is this your king? Yes. This is our king. God bless you, Chadwick Boseman. God bless you, Anderson, South Carolina. Thank you.
A year lifespan. We have come here this evening with heavy hearts, because death has invaded our ranks. Death has moved into our personal space. I snatched one that we just knew many more years would have come, and removed them from our presence. Death. It's a hard word. Death has invaded our personal space. Death. We looked at what was going on with the young people. And one thing that I noticed that on first Sunday, a group of young people, some just not even in public school, 8, 9, 10 years in addition, would come up every first Sunday to sing and to inspire us and to bring about an understanding of why we are worshiping this day. On those first Sundays of the month, as the children choir would sing, one particular Sunday, I decided to not sit in the pulpit, but to come out so I could see them face to face. And on the back row of the choir was a particular child who later identified himself as Chadwick Aaron Boseman. We called him Chad. The youngest of 3 sons born to Miss Leroy and Miss Carolyn Boseman. The couple had embraced their faith, the faith of their ancestors, and it was moving within them. And that same faith was passed on to those boys. I could hear it. I could almost see it. As if Chad, as he sang and went along with a particular choir, something unique came forth. That it presented a movement that would last a lifetime. I can hear I love Jesus better than ice cream. And ice cream is better than good. Jesus loves me better than ice cream. I always knew he would. Even when I disobey him and don't do all the things that I should, I love Jesus better than ice cream. And ice cream is better than good. Chad's uniqueness was to always do the best he could in order to accomplish whatever he set out to do. He was always active in the church, especially in the youth department, participating in skits, singing with the young adult choir, participating in local and state oratorial contests. He seems to have been the best when he was performing in front of others. A different Chad comes up when he stood before an audience. Chad loved his high school. He loved speech and debate. From the forensic program in the high school, he became a leader in the South Carolina Baptist Congress of Christian Education. And at the church, he even wrote a play, maybe the first one that I knew of, that helped local youth express their feelings while coping with the tragic death of one of their peers. He penned it. He pulled it together, orchestrated it, and presented it at the Welfare Church. As a 15-year-old teenager, he also wrote and presented his first statewide play. We were hosting in Anderson County, we were hosting the Baptist Education Congress. And here he came with the idea, Pastor, can I present the play? And I said, well, yes. And so we moved around the schedule so that he would have an opportunity to present a play that tears began to fall from those who observed. And many came to me and were shocked to see such a young man to have so much talent and able to use it in such a way. After graduating and moving to Washington, D.C. to attend Howard University, Chad never forgot his church. They never forgot his pastor. Every time he would come, he would find some way to steal away and spend some time to talk. And whatever was on his mind came out, and we shared. And we knew where he was going in the sense that he wanted to be the best that he could be under any situation, no matter what it is. And after graduating from Howard University, his sister cousin, or his sister basically, became our connector. She made sure there was no gap between us and Chad. She detailed everything that was going to happen. And she brought it to me personally and to the church in general. She had a way of remembering everything about Chad. She detailed every television program that he was going to be on. Reminded us of the station and of the time, the date, the very hour that we ought to be there to make sure that we do not miss Chad. Dion always made sure that whatever show he was going to appear on, we knew it and we understood it. I called her the best cheerleader any actor ought to have. When he started performing in the movies, we encouraged our church family to be there. And there was always an excitement in the air because we just wanted to see Chad in the movie. At the end of each movie, we would ask the family about the next movie, and about the next movie, and about the next movie. Wasn't it exciting when he began to portray real-life historical persons that many of us had learned about over the years, that he brought those persons to life. Jackie Robinson, 42. James Brown, as we just heard, and Get On Up. Thurgood Marshall in Marshall. And for his portrayal as a superhero in Black Panther, Anderson had gone wild as we were boasting about a young man who had come our way. Who would have thought, as a rising star, that little boy in the rural area of Anderson County, who was the hope and the dream of so many, would leave us so fast? According to those who work in the movie industry, our Chad, our young lad, accomplished enough for 3 careers in all of his too brief of years. 43, a year lifespan. We have come here this evening with heavy hearts because death has invaded our ranks. Death has moved into our personal space. I snatched one that we just knew many more years would have come and removed them from our presence. Death is a hard word. Death has invaded our personal space. Death, we hate it. Death, we hate it. But life, we love it. Death, we run from it. But life, we embrace it. So many of us here this evening would give almost anything we could just for another day of living. Death, we fear it. Just think for a few moments. Only a few days ago, we, like many others, learned that Chad knew that his life was fading away. And the strangest thing about it, there was no sign from him that life was almost over. We heard it, and many of us were in tears. But yet we learned that Chad knew that his life was fading, and that for 4 years, he processed the idea of death and dying, seemingly doing it all by himself in a right relationship with his God. God gave him 4 years. 4 years to gain some sense of peace and acceptance that life would soon be over. He learned that life exists only for a season, and he was not willing to give up until that season had come to an end. Life. When I look at Chad, when he left, he did not leave just a few television shows, but he left national and international movies. He also left memories. And the other day I was reading and looking and trying to get in contact with his spirit, and I read across a few of his quotes. And he left those quotes to enable us, who will be left behind after he's gone, to face this world until our time shall come. He said, I think you realize how much you need to have people that love you. But it's not much about them loving you. it's about you needing to love people. He said, your struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your promise. He said, when I stand before my God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would have not a single bit of talent left and could look him face to face and say, God, I used everything you gave me. William Shakespeare said it this way: the whole world is nothing but a stage, and each one of us are playing a part. One day the curtain will fall, and if you have played the part well, you'll be promoted to a higher stage. He's saying, I love Jesus better than ice cream, and ice cream is better than good. Jesus loves me better than ice cream. I always knew he would.